Hello everyone, and welcome to Update 3 on what is Tropical Storm Paulette, which has weakened a bit since the previous update at 22.2 degrees north, 49.5 degrees west as of 9 p.m. AST on September the 10th. So let's take a look at the storm. Some significant changes have occurred. We now have a CDPS rating on it, unlike the past couple of updates. Stage 4 on the CDPS scale, meaning devastating damage is possible. That's for Bermuda. We'll get into more details on that in just a moment. It's moving west-northwest at 9 miles per hour, with winds of 50 miles per hour and a pressure of 1,000 millibars. So on the CDPS scale, you can see there a Stage 4 significant wind potential, major rainfall potential. The storm size is also significant, and the overall threat to land is just touching into major. This is subject to go up as the intensity forecast for Paulette has slowly been rising with time. Cones of uncertainty on both Renee and Paulette will be coming out later this evening. So again, that is extensive damage that is possible, devastating damage that's possible, so it's definitely something that does need to be taken into account. So here's what the storm is right now. You can see that wind field is really shoved off to the north, where all of that convection is as well, and that is really going to be the story of this storm, at least for now. The wind shear is really shoving all of that convection to the north at this time. Regardless of that, this is headed towards land. It's headed towards Bermuda. It's not the closest point to it right now. It's about 1,177 miles away from Bermuda, but that is the only area of land that will be getting impacted by this in the next 5 days. No watches and warnings in effect at this time, but within the next couple of days I would expect that Bermuda will be in at least tropical storm watches. So let's take a look at that intensity estimate. Again, that's at 50 miles per hour. The center is actually south of that blowup of convection there, and it's kind of engulfed within it. About half of it's engulfed within that convection. You can see there ADT estimating about 40 miles per hour, SATCON and AMSU at about 45, and RAM being aggressive at 60 miles per hour. Force 13 is going with the NHC's analysis of 50 miles per hour. So what's the cone looking like? Well, we're expecting a hurricane strike now to Bermuda. National Hurricane Center showing the strengthening all the way up to 90 miles per hour now. So a Category 1 bordering on Category 2. But hurricane impacts to Bermuda are certainly possible. They're near the center of the cone right now. We'll see if that shifts at all. But if you're on Bermuda, I would be on high alert, and I would be beginning hurricane preparations now. So here's the rainfall forecast. You can see there Paulette on the left side of your screen. You can see that recurvature near Bermuda towards the end. You can see the set excuse of what's left of Renee as well. Could survive, but Renee's not doing so hot as of this update. You can see there Paulette's track very clearly. Significant rainfall, over a foot of rain falling in numerous areas according to the GFS. And if that shift in track slightly to the east were to occur, that would be right over Bermuda. So Bermuda could experience significant rainfall. Sea surface temperatures are only rising from here for the storm, so that's going to be quite favorable for its development with time. We'll see what exactly happens, but again, really favorable development at this time. Really favorable sea surface temperatures for further development. Possibly into a hurricane here, which is again what's being forecasted. So here are the chances of tropical storm force winds. You can see those chances go down rather markedly over the next few days, still though above 60% in a lot of cases. You can see there the 70 and 80% contours really starting to come up towards the end there. Bermuda with an 80% area for the potential of tropical storm force winds, so that's certainly an issue. When it comes to the chances of hurricane conditions, you can see there that little tongue, that's Renee's chances of hurricane conditions there, and then you can see here as we head towards Bermuda, that 10 to 20% chance of hurricane conditions given by the National Hurricane Center. I do expect this to go up with time, as models are very keen on a hurricane at this point. You can actually see that here. And the CTCX and HWRF both predict a major hurricane out of this. So it's not out of the question that we see a Category 3, but right now it looks like Category 1 or 2 is most likely. Well, why is that? First of all, deep layer shear, that's going to peak here in just a little bit before it really starts to tank. And as that shear does go down significantly, we'll start to see that strengthening phase of Paulette. With that, we also have increasing sea surface temperatures, which will be good for it. While dry air might be a little bit of an issue, it appears that sea surface temperatures will be able to carry it throughout the next few days. Here's the storm on satellite, taking a deeper look into it. You can see there those convective flares on it. Shear is quite strong, and you can see that being sheared to the north. Regardless of that, the storm has maintained quite the convective burst over the past few hours. We'll see if that holds, or whether it's going to weaken just a little more before that strengthening phase begins again. You can follow our outlets. First of all, the website, force13.com, with new articles coming out all the time for your reading pleasure about all things weather. YouTube.com/force13 with our tropical weather bulletins, animations, and tropical updates. You can also find us on Facebook with more information on those things. And then also on Twitter. We have the US branches and AU branches on there as well, but you can see the URL below. Teespring.com/store/force13. That's where you can find things like the Smug Mug to buy. And finally, the Patreon. Patreon.com/force13, where you can support the project and help it become even better.